Good afternoon, everybody. It's very muted good afternoon. That's better. Whenever I interact with a large forum, it reminds me of my college days. And post-lunch sessions always were very difficult. So what we'll do with this theme itself, we'll do one exercise so that all of us remain, vigilant. All of you make a gesture like this. Everybody at the back also. Now do as I say. Rotate it round your chin like this and this. Now you see how many of you are rotating round your chin? You see? So the key message is we need to learn about the learning. We have to walk the talk, not talk the talk. And it's very interesting, before I go to the slide, I'm sure there are many movie buffs here. People like movies. How many people have watched Matrix? Matrix? It's not caused by me. Okay. So if you see the main protagonist, is it audible now? Yeah. So the main protagonist is Neo, as we know. And he goes to Morpheus, and Morpheus is training him. And then Morpheus says to Neo that, Neo, sooner or later you will realize there is a great deal of difference between knowing the path and walking the path. We remember? If you don't remember, just go and see the clip. It same reminds me of that exercise. You have to rotate it around your chin, but you are seeing me rotating around my cheek, so you will keep rotating around your cheek. So what we are going to do that I have got just 20 minutes, so I just have 3 slides, with the key message that less is more, So we'll just cover the entire human evolution. So if you see, since the dawn of human beings, for the millions of years we were hunter and gatherers. You see, there were a few thousands of the people scattered here and there, where the climates life could survive. And then this lasted till almost 20,000 BC, till somebody learned that agriculture piece. So what used to happen, if you see, almost no growth was there, and the skills also were barely for the survival. Then what happened across, like I said, this lasted for millions of years with no growth. Then once we learned agriculture, what happened? Then we augmented our capacity, we increased our capacity, we started domesticating animals, and these animals used to start helping us in the farms, also they used to help us in the households, and then it was little bit of, we see the productivity increased. And this almost lasted, though some advancement happened, till almost the mid of 18th century, when the Industrial Revolution came, James Watt's steam engine and associated inventions, which changed the human civilizations. So what I'm saying, the first age, you see, it lasted for close to millions of years. The second one lasted for almost 21,000 years, few millennia. And the agriculture age ended, and industrial age started somewhere around, like I said, 1760 AD. Now, this till almost 1970s or 80s, now there is some doubt also. The information age started with the advancement in computing and microchips, and you see the leaders of the today, you see the foundation was laid at that time. So Bill Gates was putting a Microsoft, and Steve Jobs was putting Apple, and then the advancement in computing laid the foundation for what we saw with the advent of internet in mid-90s, and it is continuing till now. And already there is what is going to happen is that information age also is going to come to an end. I mean, it will take, depending upon how fast we are able to commercialize or make those technologies for the masses, somewhere around between 2025 to 2030, this will come to end as we know it. So what do we see? That the entire human history in these four ages itself. So everywhere you see we have been able, whenever we have built skills, for the higher productivity, it has led to the better quality of life and better growth. And you see the pace of change. So this lasted for millions of years, this lasted for a few thousand years, this for a few centuries, and this just lasted for a few decades. Now the next age, as we call, is the augmented age. And what is going to happen in augmented age? I'm sure all of us go through TED talks. It has very insightful information. And then there are many talks also related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics. Basically, but if you see what is going to change from the information age to now, is that the machines are going to develop cognitive abilities. It's already happening. If you see the Google search and you go back, or you said, let's see the Google map also. It's becoming smarter and smarter. And the manufacturing piece also, you see the routine repetitive tasks were mechanized. Now you see almost everywhere where we can put a program, it is going to get there. And that is why I was saying the TED talk, if you see the machine learning, there is a talk and it says that almost 70% of the work, whatever we are doing, starting from the teaching to the medical sciences, to the programming, to manufacturing, almost 70% work is going to be done by machines. And what will be the impact of working with the machines? You see all problems which we associate with the working with, that will be gone. So 168 hours they can work, 24 hours, 7 days a week, with the better quality, better productivity, better safety and better precision. Now given the fact that this is what is going to happen, where industry is headed and what academia can do. So that is why in the beginning I said that while this talk is there, and when you discuss with the academia and industry people also, they still feel that the future is somewhat away. This is not going to happen. But it is going to happen at such a rapid pace, and once it starts, because this is just in the baby phase. You see how human baby evolves. It crawls, then it starts little bit of walking, and then it starts running. And once it starts running, then the crawling phase is over. So this phase, why we are not seeing the impact as it is, because still we are in the crawling phase. Once the baby starts to run and then transformation happens, if we are not building talent to be ready for that, all of us will have tremendous difficulties with the massive changes which is going to come. So this we would have learned. So again, going back to the human history, for the millions of years, which are the species which have survived? This is what Darwin said. It is not the strongest of species. We know the Jurassic Age ended 65 million years ago, and the dinosaurs, they were the strongest of species. Why they could not survive? There are various reasons, but they say the environment change happened, they could not adapt to the dwindling temperature. Now if the dinosaurs, which were 100 times more than us, they could not survive, if we don't adapt to whatever is coming, then it's going to be very difficult for us as a human species also to make a distinct impact. And the second thing is, I think you go to any key leaders, the Carol Dweck growth mindset is there, or whatever is latest happening in the learning and development, what they are saying that whatever you learn during one phase, it's not going to be enough. Because the pace is changing so fast that unless we keep ourselves relevant, it's going to be very difficult for us to be productively employed and be productive in our ages. So how we are going to do about it, and where is India fits in? So that is why I said the one goal all of us should be doing, and in India, I think there is a famous talk, you go talk to anybody, including the street vendor or rickshaw puller, he will also have an opinion how many things should be done, except that doing his own job in a professional way. So despite all the talks of transformation and things like that, we are still a low income country. Our per capita income, you see, the last year was almost $2,200. And for the developed countries, we have to reach the status of $12,000 per annum to have a decent quality of life. And how, again, countries have done it, all the countries you see, they have done it the same way. They have built a skill of the population, they have shifted massively people from agriculture to manufacturing and services. As we talk, still we have half of the people who are engaged in agriculture, which is low productive and low skilled, and naturally the output and per capita associated with agriculture also is low. And whatever the transformation stories have come out of India also, I think we are yet to move to a very high productivity phase. So so this will be one goal, and hopefully if we continue the high growth rate, hopefully this year has been a little bit setback, we move back to 7-8%, and at that pace every 8 year your per capita income will double, then somewhere close to in 20 years we are going to hit this number. But how? The piece is that how? So, and this is where the academia and industry both have to play a key role. I'll give a classical example for the HR, because I am from HR and we do the hiring. And then we said 2 years back that we are going to take only freshers. We are not going to take experienced guys, and we are going to build the talent we want rather than import the talent from the industry. And something as basic as MS Office, and we do the test for the masters, MBA students, and 90% of the students fail. So they have done the graduation, they have done the engineering, they have done the MBA, you do the Excel test, 90% of the students fail. So for taking 2 freshers, basically we are now doing the recruitment drive for 200 or 250 students. So that is the level of skill, So what I was saying, that one is that we will of course have to redefine our curriculum with whatever the needs, current needs, and more importantly whatever the future needs. And if you do a little bit research, people say the industrial age, the leader was Great Britain. Information age, the leader was United States of America. And the others also do the catching up. We also, the quality of life improved for average Indian also in last 70 years. That is not to discount. But in the augmented age, in which the 2 key things are going to be, like I said, artificial intelligence and the robotics, which the machines are going to really play the transformative role. China is the country which is investing most. And the latest technology, because the R&D, the curriculum, the industry, everything is working in tandem. And then they say by 2030, not only it will have in the real terms the largest superpower, but also the inventions and all the transformative products which will be coming, or the inventions, mostly it will be coming from China, because they are getting the whole ecosystem ready for that. So I think somewhere we have to play a far larger role in that, and we have to learn from the successful models of the other countries. So if you see the German internship model, like they say, it's unlike our, so their internship is not something like that, you go for 1 month, 2 months, and then you come back to again and do your studies. The learning has to be embedded in your everyday experience, and that is how the German internship model is. It lasts for a few years. People go to the factories, people go to, and then they work there, and then in parallel some portion is there, the studies. But mostly it's on the job experience. And that is what in the end I said, whenever we think of a skill, we start thinking of the teaching, curriculum, talks, interactions, but we should always think of swimming. How do you become a swimmer? If somebody comes and talks to you for hours and hours, and you do certification and training and coaching, or you go interact with the famous swimmers and they come and talk to you, are you going to become a good swimmer? So a skill is like that. Unless you go to the pool and practice, and when you are going and practicing there, then maybe some of the concepts or some of the tips can help. So whenever we think of a skill, I think we should always put focus how we are going to blend experience, put focus more on experience for the talent which is coming out of the academia or getting ready for the industry, so that they are ready for the challenges which they are going to face there. They have to be very good in problem solving, and then little bit creative also. So I think one of the challenges which people keep asking, that if 60 to 70% of the routine repetitive tasks are going to be handled by machines, what the human beings are going to do. So, like I said, if you see our evolution itself, the people will move to the higher end works, which requires more creativity, more imagination, which at this stage the machines cannot do. And we have to make ourselves ready, all of us, including I also have to be ready for that. So that's what I'm just trying to recap what I have said, that little bit if you see the whole human civilization, it has been the history of skill development from the broad macro picture level, and the coming age is going to require more than this. And unless we change our curriculum, and when I say the curriculum, I don't mean exactly at the higher education level or the MBA or the BTech level, right? It has to start at the primary stage itself. The way we teach our children, the way we teach ourselves also to do our work, because we cannot, still I think that when we interact, we cannot reimagine the future the way it is going to unfold before us in next 10 years. So take the example of, say, autonomous vehicles. While it's not going to get commercialized in next 2 to 3 years, but in the 7 to 8 years, it's definitely going to be mainstream. And see the impact it will have on one industry itself, transportation. So the millions of drivers, be it the car driver, bus driver, truck drivers, everywhere, it's just going to be done by machines. And then, the whole industry, you see, I'm giving you one example. So whatever we see the associated with transportation, be it the parking lots or be it the fuel tanks or the fuel stations, everything is just going to go away once it becomes mainstream. Why we are not able to see it? Because it's going to take time. But once it comes, I think I covered in the slide, it's going to be totally different than what we do, because what is the productivity stretch we have? In fact, the most hardworking of us can claim to clock, say, 100 hours a day. If you see, there is a famous documentary in Netflix, Inside Bill Gates' Brain. And there he said that he used to work 17 hours a day. He had the turnaround time of 7 hours. So 17 into 7 is 119. Still it's 168 if you see. Still it's 40% more productive. And 119 hours you cannot deliver the same level of productivity. Machines will do it. So I think the future, we should not think in the terms of the future is still far away. Future is upon us. And it's not, I'm talking of the very advanced level of knowledge. I think it's the basics also, we are yet to put a rigor in mechanism. And you can imagine, so 250 postgraduates or MBAs coming out of institutes, if only 10% are able to clear the basic MS Office, so what kind of a skill we are building in our students? So the challenge is massive. I will say the opportunity also is massive. We should interact and collaborate more and then put little rigor. And we need to unlearn the way the learning is done. And then the swimming, that is why I give the classical example. It cannot be taught in classrooms. It cannot be taught, through the talks and delivery. It has to be blended through the experience, and then hopefully the people will pick it up, and then we will be able to establish a better future. So, any questions, anything, I will be happy to answer.